Hi, Stitchy friends. How are you? This is Angie. On Instagram, I am Bubmie, Bubmie. On here on Flosstube, I'm just Angela Mier. If you are here to talk about all things cross stitch, I am happy you are here. And if you happen to find me by accident, you can hang around, talk stitching stuff, or you could just keep on going. So I hope all of you are well. I hope all of you are recovering. Those of you who went to StitchCon and came home with the plague like I did. I hope you're all on the mend. I'm doing pretty well. Today is Flosstube number 52. Today is Saturday, June 25th. I can't believe it's the end of June already. Time has like flown by so fast. Um, it's been a glorious day today here. It rained. We had a thunderstorm and my garden needed the rain so bad it wasn't funny. So I was thrilled to have rain today, and I'm in my stitchy room and it's all clean. I got it all cleaned, and you can see the floor. That's a big accomplishment. And I've gone through all my things and touched everything and loved on everything. So I hope that you will, if you're returning, thanks for coming back. If you're new, welcome. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you keep coming back. And I hope maybe you'll share me with a friend. That'd be great. Let's see. Let's start with, I have a fully finished piece. I I was working this, I think, last year at StitchCon, and I was still working on it. And Nicole, Buckeye Stitcher, kind of chastised me, like, you got to get the sucker done. You can't bring it back to StitchCon. So I did bring it back to StitchCon, but it's a fully finished. So I'm pretty pleased with my framer. Helped me pick out the mat and the frame. I go to a local place called Jeffrey Allen's. They have one here in Bloomington, Illinois, one in Champaign, and there's one in Terre Haute, Indiana. I don't know if there's any more than that. And I want to say there's a second name. Like there might be more, but under a different name. But sorry, it's escaping me. They used to be All Things Crafts, and then now they're just home decor. There's like a fashion boutique. There's framing. There's plants. So I'm really happy with this one. This is Knee High by 4th of July by Hands-On Design, Kathy Haberman. So, and the corn is growing. Somebody else had one of these at StitchCon, and it was so cool. She made the quilt as a separate piece to be hooked on, and she made like green grass growing up here, and she did satin stitches for the tassels up here, and she did something for the corn. I think she used beads for the corn. I used étoile for the corn. These are not in all the called for colors. I know I changed the color of the stalks. I don't remember what color I used though, but I changed the color because I wanted it to be a true green, a green like it is now, like there. It's green right now. And then because my husband, I didn't take this with me. I probably should have. It would have been the only one there like it. My husband's not in the office and he doesn't have an office anymore. And so he had to bring home all his personal things. So he brought home Spock. I made this for him, surprised him for Valentine's Day a number of years ago. So he's got to find a special place in our home. So, all right, let's talk about things that I bought before I went my trip. I did some thrifting before I went to StitchCon, and we have a lovely thrift store that's benefits one of our hospitals. And I got a bunch of Christmas fabric. That was really nice for finishing. I got several pieces of Lugana, and I love Lugana. This one is like this one is a rosy color, like a pinky, dusty rose color, and this one's just regular mushroom Lugana. I got a second piece of this, and I've already started stitching on that. I got two books. One is Donna Cooler's 555 Christmas cross stitch designs. Lots of little motifs in here, but then all the little motifs are broken. All the little motifs were a big motif and then broken down. And I'll just show you one. I think there's like 4 in here, and I'll show you my favorite. It's these old time Santas. And then I was looking through, and there are more Santas in here that are not depicted on this sampler or this piece because there is one where the Santa Claus has on sunglasses. So there's more Santas in there. So this was a nice book. And then I got this book by Anna Davidson, 500 cross stitch blocks. The interesting thing about this is there aren't really good pictures of all the things that are stitched in here, and I don't even know that that all of them are in here. So here's like 2 pictures of what's in the book. But then, and I'll just flip through, like, here's probably that. But then there's something else and it's labeled, there's beneath the trees, in the garden. And I don't know that these things, I look through, they're not all fluttering in the breeze. They're not depicted in, like, the finished project isn't in here. So this was an interesting book. Then I made an online purchase. I have met Gary and Ronnie, and I absolutely love Gary and Ronnie, and I've met them in person. Fabulous, fabulous human beings. Love them. And the Sunshine Stitchers. Their names went like right out of my COVID head. I'm sorry. I'll think of it. But they're all lovely people. Sunshine Stitchers, I love watching you guys. Love watching you guys. You never fail to make me laugh. So I haven't bought something from them. So I thought I need to support these fabulous human beings. So I got my first Garan toten bag, and I absolutely love this. And inside are the bees and the daisies. How perfect. I don't know that I really realized that there were bees and daisies inside, but I love this. And then I told my husband that my goal is to buy fabric and floss. That's it. I don't need any patterns. So I got some Lugana. I got some lime green. I think I have some things that would look lovely on this lime green. And I got Stitching with the Housewives, Buzz of the Bees. So quick shipping, packaged beautifully, very excited. Love those guys. I was going to tell you something else and I forgot. Sorry. Okay. StitchCon was fabulous. Even though I got sick, I wouldn't change a thing. I went back and thought about it. Everybody who was at my table, they all said we wouldn't change a thing. I haven't been very sick. Excuse me. I have not been very sick. I've done really, really well, so I can't complain. My husband has taken excellent care of me. All right. So I told my husband I was going to StitchCon and that my goal was fabric and floss. I really didn't need a new pattern. My lips look funny. Probably the lighting in here. It looks like I Susan Lucci'd my lipstick. I don't have any lipstick on. So I did accomplish the goal of all the fabric. I did buy, these are my annex purchases. Atomic Ranch is the designer, and this is called Weatherstone, and this is an 18 count Aida. It's just got it's got some modeling in it. In this light, I call it like a light blue gray modeling. All this fabric, I don't have a thought in my head what's going on them, but you know, when you don't have an LNS and you need to see the fabric that you buy, you need to touch it, you need to look at it. I'm getting old and crotchety, and I find that if I pick up fabric and it doesn't feel good in my hands, I'm not going to stitch on it. I don't know who the maker of this fabric was. It was on the tables. It probably in the melee of fabric buying and cutting, the tag came off. The tag came off. So I got this beautiful green. It's got beautiful modeling on it. It is the linen. I love it. I love it. And then I got from Fortnite Fabrics, which I was so sad that they didn't make it because they were sick before they even got there. They didn't get to come. I've watched their floss tubes. They are two adorable people. And so I got Caravan Tan in 16 count Ada. And it's just like got some rich, this like makes me think of chocolate. Like I was like, oh, chocolate. I need some chocolate. It's a beautiful piece of fabric. So, but that's not all. Rovaris had fabric laying out on the table in these adorable little bundles. So this is a little stack of green, not green, gray with some black, and another one, and another gray, and a real pretty blue, and a really pretty green. And they were all wrapped up so nicely with this little charm on it that said handmade with love. And then I got one Ada with this real pretty tealy blue color. Actually, this looks a little bit darker on my screen than it is holding in my hand. So, but very excited about that. And then for patterns that I bought, I got the hummingbird sampler. I got a heart and hand. I got another one of these patterns. I think the bluebird after the aftermarket. Yeah, there's bluebird. I had, you guys know this, I had to get Daisy because Daisy, my dog, I had to get this. And I'm thinking this is going to get stitched, and then Stitching with the Housewives has a Daisy that I think it's a cow, but its name is Daisy. And so I think I'm going to get these two stitched up and have a little photo shoot with my Daisy. Bent Creek. This is called Oodles of Winter. I love my snowmen. Let me save that one. Luminous Fiber Arts. Luminous Fiber Arts, you had to make a killing because I think our table bought like all your patterns. This one is Friendship Series Stitching Birds. The Cat O' Lantern. Gathering Honey. I had already bought the snowman that goes with this series earlier. Gathering Acorns. Gathering Berries. And Gathering Clover. And my table mate Terry from Bubmie Stitcher on Instagram was stitching this, and people coming, I cannot talk. People coming by the table were watching her and looking at this, and I think that helps sales a little bit. Maybe there needs to be a plant. Like every designer, everybody who has a piece there, a trunk show needs to like have a stitcher stitching on something and help sales, because I know that Terry helped sell a lot of these. Not that they can't sell on their own, because Luminous Fiber Arts is fabulous, but Terry was helping the cause a little bit. And numerous people have said seeing it stitched in person is so much better than just seeing a picture online. Seeing it for yourself makes all the difference. I got this by Heart and Hand. Now I stitched, if you guys remember, I stitched this bunny this spring. I think it was in a magazine. And then I just love all four patterns and I love them all together. So I had to. I think this was out in another magazine, if I don't quote me. And then, oh, I'll save this because that was kind of a gift. And then I got this pattern that by Sue Hillis to commemorate StitchCon. So there's this pattern, and then she had a cute little free pattern. So those were my annex purchases. That's what we're just going to go on with what's in my pile because there's still a lot more to go. I love Paula Vaughn, and so off the freebie table, I got 2 more Paula Vaughns, and I double checked. I don't have either one of these. I have quite the impressive Paula Vaughn collection. I have 1 finished. I have 1 in the works. I got a lot of work to go. Off the freebie table, I got another book, Mary Engelbright's. I don't know there was anything that like jumped out at me, but now that I see this picture on the back, there is a Santa Claus in here, if I could find it super quick, that I really like. It's kind of cute. I did find him pretty fast. That's a lot of stitches. I don't think I've done a huge full coverage like that. I've done pieces that have a lot of stitches, but not like that. Okay, so we're just going to keep going with what's right here. Did you hear my sun catcher? I told you we had that storm, so I've had the windows open, and it's so nice to get some fresh air in the house. It's been so hot, so this is fabulous. So I participated in the Smalls Exchange. We watched this lovely lady. Maybe the card's probably inside. We watched her walk in. This was like neatly tied up and had bows on it. And I watched her walk in. I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting. And I watched like all the packaging come in, seeing what people were making and or bringing in, and what would I pick? I was in the very first day, the very first one. I have her picture on here. Here it is. Jennifer. Here's Jennifer and I together. She was lovely. So I picked her box because I was picked in the first round. And this is what she stitched. Isn't this adorable? Blueberry pie. I love blueberries. And she gave me those. I don't know who it's by. It starts with a B. It's chocolates, and they were blueberry and acai. They were delicious. And I brought them home, and they're dark chocolate. My husband loved them too. But that's not in this big box. That's not the only thing. Blueberry pie wasn't the only thing. And blueberry pie is going to go hang out up here in a place of honor with all my other stitching fabulousness. There was a mug. Sewing keeps me sane, which it does. And she gave me blueberry colored threads, etoile, which I really like etoile, so I was very excited about that. She gave me an adjustable thimble. I've never used a thimble. Some DMC needles, which I just learned. Who said it? It was on Instagram. Somebody said your needles go bad. Like, I always thought when they break or when they bend, then that's the time to give them the heave-ho. But if they're snagging or they're worn in the middle, you need to give them the heave-ho. But I also got this little baggie with a little heart beeswax and a threader. Words. Isn't that cute? And then a a stitch ripper. So all very fabulous, fabulous gifts, and a sweet, sweet note. So that was awesome. It was so much fun. Let me pull it up on my phone. I get super anxious about doing Smalls Exchanges, and I had something made, and at the last minute, literally I was going to finish it and went, you can't, there's no way you could finish this to make it look nice. I'll show it in a later video. So I went to something else that I did not have finished, and I finished it in 2 days. How crazy is that, you guys? I finished it in 2 days, and here is what I gave. It is by Heartstring Samplery. It's the little Stars and Stripes stocking, and I put it in a little patriotic lunchbox that I found at a quilt store. It's here in Bloomington, Illinois, called Piece and Applique. If you're a quilter, the trip to Bloomington to Piece and Applique, it's a pretty great place. And then apparently there's the mothership, they call it, in Rochester, Illinois. It's even bigger, but I got that. And then I gave her some etoile, I gave her some sulky, I gave her some DMC, some red, white, and blue stars, and I made a pin keep. This is one of my prototypes. I made this pin keep, but she got it was a better one. This one's like the oops. And it went to a lovely lady, excuse my scrolling, to Michelle McCoy. And here's Michelle and I together. So, and oh, I told you about that that knee high. Here's how it got finished. That was on the brag table. Sorry, I can't. Is that pretty good? There we go. It was really cool. And it was on a wooden frame. So, okay. What's next? You guys have seen the fabulous StitchCon bag that we got. This is like Land's End. I've always wanted one of those Land's End bags. It's a nice bag. Not Land's End. Who's that other company out in Maine? Is it Land's End? No, I don't know. But anyways, I've always wanted one of these bags. I did not do the floss drop thing. Instead, my friend Mary and I did random floss generator, and we ran around to tables and let people, this bag was completely full, let people take out a floss. So there was some étoile in there. People were pretty excited about that. So that was lots of fun. Okay, next file. Excuse me. In my quest for floss, I love blue. So, and I had a pile, listen to this. I had a humongous bag for the freebie table. It did not leave this house because I forgot it sitting on the chair. I had 3 patterns sitting on here on my dresser with fabric, the list of fabric and threads that I wanted to get kitted up. They were still here. So I didn't have in my head what colors did I need. So I just picked up some blue because I love blue. Here's presidential blue. I got some deep sea blue and some mermaid fin. So I was excited about that. In Keepsakes, they have freebies throughout the table, and I picked up by Waxing Moon Designs Boo Spider, which is, I can't show it to you because it's just the pattern, but it's a smiling pumpkin with looks like he's got braces on his mouth, or stitched, his mouth is stitched, and then there's a spider on top and a little sign that says Boo. So I kitted that up. It needed gold leaf and burnt orange and khaki mocha and black crow and tarnished gold. So I'm pretty excited about. I just need to get some fabric for him to get him done. I got a paddle. I think this is by Stitch Etc. I got a paddle to do some finishing. I got this Prairie Schooler Reindeer Rudolph. Reindeer Roundup. You guys could start taking a drink every time that I make a mistake. I'm guessing from here on, if you did, you'd probably be drunk by the end. I really like this one, and I don't know that I've seen it before, so I'm super stoked about this. So I don't know, like if you follow Keepsakes, Sue Hillis is a local, and I think Keepsakes is Sue's LNS. So one time for the winter retreat that Barbara does, Sue started Keepsakes. And then you could add on to make, make like a longer sampler kind of thing, these little pieces. So I got this book, and then I got 2 of the rest of the books. I think there's a book 4 based on what I see from the rows, maybe even 5. So I'll need to get those at future dates. But then, in my quest for fabric, I got some Fiber on a Whim Sedona. Look at that orange. It looks like a dreamsicle. I loved dreamsicles as a kid. And then I got some Picture This Plus Doubloon, 32 count. I've never had that. So that was pretty exciting. That was very exciting. I think that, so I've been to StitchCon. This was my 4th time. I'm a senior. Next year I'll be a graduate student. I've only been to Keepsakes 1 additional time, and that was after, what summer was it? It wasn't last summer. It was the summer they didn't have StitchCon, and we were coming back from Virginia. We had been to see my dad, and I said, Dave, can we please stop like 30 minutes? Can I have 30 minutes? And he's like, fine. So he let me stop. So of course it was 30 minutes in and out. And of course I texted Buckeye Stitcher and said, hey, can you run by? And she ran by so we could say hi. But someday I'm going to go to Ohio and just go into Keepsakes and take my time and look at everything. Because StitchCon weekend isn't the time that you could leisurely just take it all in. Because there's so many nooks and crannies and there's so many things. My LNS, which I loved when it was here, the Counted Needle, it had racks. Like here was the Lizzie Kate rack, and here was the Christmas rack, and here was the Plum Street sampler rack, and here was 4th of July. I mean, and those things were all kind of intermixed, but it was a nice big store that you could go from rack to rack. And at Keepsakes, it's an antique house, an old house, a vintage house with lots of nooks and crannies and tables and things to look at. And like, I've never been able to take in the wall going upstairs with all the things on it. So that's my dream. I'm going to go to Cincinnati and I'm going to be there 5-6 hours and I'm just going to look at it all. Thanks for humoring me. Okay, so I got some gifts while I was there, and I hope you'll humor me by letting me show you my gifts. I did have one finish. I did not ring the bell, but I did get some beads. And the beads for Weekend B, props need to go to Stitching and Doodah. One of them was named Donna, and I am so sorry, COVID brain, and I should have looked this up. But at the first StitchCon at the Sharonville Convention Center, they passed out beads when you got a thing. It wasn't a StitchCon team thing. It was these ladies were just wanted to have some extra fun, and they were fun. So this year, my friend Mary said, I want to do the beads. I'm like, so do the beads. And so when somebody rang the bell, her or me or Carol would run up and give somebody beads and ooh and ah over their stitch and say congratulations. I did not run up and ring the bell, but I did get beads. So here was my little, it's not even cross stitch. Here's my little embroidery finish. You guys have seen me working on these. Here's one of the other ones. There was a set of 3. I think the 3rd one's down in my Christmas. I'm gonna go find it and put these 3 together because this one was missing for a super long time and it was driving me nuts, but I got that one done. Now it kind of is, you're like, that's embroidery, it's not cross stitch, but it's all related because I met Suzanne Denton at the very first retreat I ever went to. I don't remember if I met her at the first or the second. And she lives north of me. And so we met up one time and we went to Tomorrow's Heirlooms and did all the shopping. And then we had lunch and then we walked around this adorable little town. Maybe it was Lyle. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we went into this cute little shop and that was a kit. And I bought it because I thought it was adorable. And I like to do embroidery. And you see that my mom made me years ago. So I've got that. So I finished that. All right. So sorry, I got to pick this up. Okay. All right. My friend Carol, who I drove up with, she gifted me with a lovely Lynn X Stitches Creates Snoopy bag. How cute is that? And a Rebel Stitcher Snoopy and some sweet scissors. You never can have too many scissors. Never, ever, ever. My friend Mary, there were 2 Marys at our table. This was Nashville Mary. She gifted us with the gift certificates to Keepsakes. I had been eyeing this bag, and so I was able to purchase this. And then you can't just buy one thing, so I got this too. Liz Matthews. Inside this are all of the floss drops and things that people gave out. And my StitchCon notebook and pen. People are so creative and so fabulous and so kind. And it was so lovely meeting everybody, and I'm sorry I didn't get to meet everybody, but it was fabulous. So pretty stoked about that. And then I met, and I wish, ladies, I hope somebody sees this and will tag it or send me a message or something. But there were these lovely ladies from Virginia, and they were sitting at a table close to the podium, and they were giving out needle minders. And I got this little, I think you're supposed to put scissors on it to keep your scissors. And I don't know who that is, but I loved it. And I wore it on my thing. And later they said that that just made them so happy that I was wearing it on my name tag and had it predominantly showing. Somebody knows who gave this to me. I'd love to keep in touch with them. And I'm sorry I didn't get their names and write it down in my journal. Okay. Garon. I got a little, this adorable little needle thing. My friend Bubmie Stitcher, Terry, I got a coaster from the Society 6, and she had this adorable water bottle that had a cross stitch pattern on it. It was only like this tall. It was so cute. Society 6 is going to get some business from me. But then she made this. Check that. Got my A on it. And then inside was counting pins and buttons and needles and a needle minder and these suckers are heavy. I think that was Terry. And then Mary, Michigan Mary, made us bags. Never had one with the mesh on there. And a strawberry. I've never gotten a strawberry before. Isn't that beautiful? I believe she made that. She's impeccable. And a glasses case. This is going to go in my purse to hold my glasses. So there was, and her and her husband are antique kind of people. And her husband Dave found me this and said I had to have it. All right, let's get to the stitching. Hang on, I got to get one piece. Sorry, I have been working on Let Freedom Ring. I'm on the bottom row. I tell you people, if I had a quarter for every time that I thought about making a floss tube since the last one, maybe I could retire 7 years early. But I moved down to the bottom row. I'm so excited. This bottom row went in pretty well. Didn't take me as long as I thought it would, but it would. So now I'm working on the leaves, and I'm just outlining the leaves. And then if like there's extra floss, then I'll fill in to finish off the thread, the strand. The sucker is getting done this year. It is. I told my son Thomas, he just did his student teaching up in Chicago Public Schools, and that's where he's hoping to work. So if you know somebody that can be a connection, let me know. But anyways, high school social studies. And so I told him this piece was going to be his. He didn't have to take it now. He could take it whenever he was ready. But his initials, because there's initials that go in here, and then there'll be another box here. I'm putting his initials in it. And I said, so I don't care if it stays in my house until I croak and you take it then. But he told me he loves it, so he will take it someday. So it's coming along. It will be done this year. I'm hoping it goes with me to the brag table next year. All right, so what else have I been working on? told you guys that this was the year of Snoopy. Poor Snoopy. I'm not a very good Snoopy person if I said this was the year of Snoopy, and I have not Snoopified this year. So I got this out while hanging out in quarantine, and I have not worked on this in a super long time. Last time I posted on Instagram, it was like back in December, and then I had done more, and then I had to frog some, but I got, what did I finish? Snoopy's, no, Woodstock's face got finished. Woodstock's hat in the toile. I outlined this, got his rest of his body done, and that right there. So that's what I've gotten done. I think that was a lot of stitches. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is plugging along. So I will keep plugging along on that. Kind of wondering if I should do like Janet Jabber does, and like she has Mill Hill Monday and Witchy Wednesday and is it Memorabilia Friday? I don't remember. She works on her Snow Queens or her Queens. Maybe that would help me keep on track. Who knows? All right. So then while I was at StitchCon, I decided I would pull out, since it was the year Snoopy, I would pull out some Snoopy. And let me find the picture, not the pattern here. I had started this one in the middle, the Happy Birthday. And when I got to StitchCon, all I had done was I had his shoes, his shorts, and underneath the chevron. So I got the chevron and all of this done. I'm stoked about that. So gotta keep going on that. And there was Stitch Bitch and Weekend A found a Peanuts pattern there. So when I went to the second Midwest Cross Stitchers Retreat in Minnesota, we were sitting near Ginger Gerald, and he was working on something that we had never seen. The best of Renato Parolin. I thought we were going to lose our minds. And I know that Terry bought hers immediately, like went on to Amazon, immediately bought it. I bought mine when I got home. Mary bought hers. I'm the first one to stitch something in it. I thought, this book cannot languish. There needs to be something done. And so I started on this. No. Yes. I started on this. And I'll show you how far I've gotten. I made pretty progress. This is a piece of the Lugana that I got from, this is the start of the tree right here. I got pretty far. I'm pretty excited. It's nice just working on one color. So excited about that. Thank you, Ginger Gerald. Then I pulled out, I've been working on Hands-on Design, God Shed His Grace on Me. And I'm slowly but surely making those stripes happen. It's not bad. This is a really good car stitch. This is on Sulky Threads. And this is a really good car stitch because once you have this first thing going, then you're just following the wave of the things. And so that works out really well. So doing the blue part won't be as easy because that's a lot of counting, but I'm very happy with that. And then nope, I'll save that one. So then I think I showed a while back, I finished, this is by Little House Needleworks. I finished this. And this has two companion pieces. It's by Little House Needleworks. Has two companion pieces. The next one I'm working on is Land of the Free. So I pulled this out and I am doing my own, sorry, I got a needle in here. I'm just using my own colors. Pull this through. Here is where I got, and now I stitched on this a little last night too. Super excited about that. So I just did because the first pattern, it was like pick a blue, pick a brown, whatever. There were called for colors in this. It called for Crescent colors, Manor Red, Blacksmith Blue, Weeping Willow, and Caterpillar. Well, I wanted to use the same colors that I have that I used on my other one, which were, there's where that other pair of scissors went. I used Color and Cotton Eggnog, which can't get now. I used Color and Cotton Dark Indigo, Color and Cotton Holly Berry, Gentle Arts Apple Cider for the brown, and then the green, I think is Classic Color Works Spinach. So that's what I'm using. I am worried about running out of colors, so I did put in an order to Color and Cotton. Where did it go? Oh, I did. And I got the blue, I got the red. Eggnog must have been like a special one. I got the holly berry, I got the dark indigo. So for the cream, I picked out these two, Sand Dune and Natural Cotton, and I, as long as I'm good on this one and don't have to swap it out, I should be fine. I don't think you'll be able to tell. I did something I didn't think I would ever do, and I don't know why, but I became a Patreon. I joined a Patreon. I joined Teresa Kogut's, and I was enabled by a new stitcher. So I'm going to the Stitching with the Housewives retreat in Greenwood, Indiana at the end of July, weekend B. And so people have been posting, and where are you from? And there's two ladies who live, one in the next town over and one just a little bit north. And so I got to get together with one of the ladies, and she said, we're talking all things stitching. She just became a stitcher in COVID. She needed a new hobby. And so we were talking about things, and I asked her what she thought about that, and she discovered it, and she goes, yeah, I joined Teresa Kogut's and I love it, and you know, all the things. And you know, depending on which level you buy, you pay $10 for a pattern, and you probably buy a pattern a month, so why not? And I was like, so I went and looked at it, and I really liked her June. I really liked her June ornament. So sometimes a girl needs to test the water first before she jumps in, and I should have double checked my count. So I think my ornament's gonna be a little bit too big. This was what I'm planning on giving for my ornament in the ornament exchange. It might be too big. And I started thinking about that when I was sitting lonely in my room. And so I started stitching it 1/1. Isn't it cute? So somebody's going to get one of these. We'll see what comes of it. But that's all for my stitching excitement. This is the longest video I've made, I think, ever. So I hope that you had a fun stitchy ride with me. I hope that if you have been sick, that you're healthy again and that you didn't get too sick. I hope there were some things that you saw that I showed that you liked, and I hope you go buy some. And I hope things all were well. Until we meet again, have a great day. Bye.